Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a good one. Got another build here for you. This is guitar number 3. The inspiration for this build was a photo of, my best guess is it was an electric cello without the silhouette body, just a stick type electric cello. And I looked at it, saw it online, saw the photo, and I was like, wow, this would make a cool guitar. I should make a guitar like that. And so that's what I did. So what I did was I started out by making this part just from the Floyd Rose up through with the neck and such, no counterweight. And the thing was just totally unplayable. All the weight of the guitar was in your left hand, whether you were sitting or standing. It might be hanging off your shoulder, it might be resting on your leg, but you were still holding the thing in your left hand. You'd try to move up and down the fretboard in order to, change chord positions, and the whole guitar would try to move with you. So it was just utterly unplayable. So after some thinking, I was like, well, I gotta get the balance correct on this thing. So then I went out in the yard, got a really long stick, and figured out just how long a guitar you could deal with. And I'd, start out with like an 8-foot stick, and I'd swing it around, and well, that's way too big. And cut a foot off and try again, and eventually got down to 5 feet. This thing clocks in at 5 foot 1 inch, and it was like, well, it's kind of big, but it might work. Basic idea was that the longer the counterweight arm, the less weight you actually have to put on it in order to get correct balance. So, and this thing does have just incredible balance now, but it's rather long and ungainly. So 5 feet really is too long. I'd say 4 feet is about the maximum. Alright, so here are the specs on this thing. The neck is mahogany with an ebony fretboard. Got it off of eBay. It's actually was originally a PRS style neck, and I modded it rather heavily. It's 24 fret, 12 inch radius, 25 and a half inch scale length. But by PRS style neck, I mean it had a very thick heel, and it also had the part that comes underneath the pickup. So I was guessing that it was supposed to be for a PRS type guitar. I reshaped the headstock on it, gave it just a really small headstock, and gave it a V-neck profile on the back. Get this thing to turn over. There you go. It's got a V-neck profile on the back. And as you can see, a V-neck profile is just a little bit too much. At 20 millimeter thickness, this entire neck is only 20 millimeters thick, all the way up to the edge of the fretboard, the whole length. And I also did the heel too. And it also has a triangular heel on it. This particular one, I used 3 screws. I'm now down to doing triangular heels with the trapezoid neck so that you don't get the cut through like you do here, and just 2 screws. And so far so good. Alright, let's see what else we got here. 25 and a half inch scale length. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the neck. The body is, of course, made out of plywood. It's about a ½ inch thick or so. Nah, it's a little thicker. I think it's like 15 millimeters something. So that might be, I don't know, whatever the next size up is. And the bar is also made of plywood. The counterweight's made out of pine. Hardware on it's got locking tuners, of course, and it's got the lock nut for the Floyd Rose and the Floyd Rose bridge. This here, actually, this is the second body I had to make for this guitar. The first one I was using the posts for the bridge, and this post over here kept pulling out on me. And when I went to this second body, this screw kept leaning forward on me when I'd bring up string tension. So I'd take it all apart, and take the screw out, and put in like a toothpick, actually a piece of a end off a large incense stick, and then put it all back together, bring it up to tension, and that would compress the wood, the shim that I'd put in there. I did that about 6 times, and finally it decided it was going to stand up straight, so that worked out okay. The plywood is reclaimed, so it's really kind of soft is what's going on. Now let's see what else we got here. As usual, like all my builds, it's got the twin strap locks on it. One's there, and the other one is somewhere here. All the way back here. Yeah, there we go. Electronics. This one's real simple. It's a bridge humbucker wired directly. Goes around to the jack, and that's all there is to it. Nothing fancy. Let's see, the overall length, as I said, this thing clocks in at 5 foot 1 inch, and that's just too long. Your typical guitar is like 1 meter long, 39, 40 inches. You can go up to about 4 feet, 48 inches. It would be my best guess for like length. For example, the X4 here is just a little under 4 foot, and it's entirely manageable. It's probably no worse than having a flying V. Haven't built one of those yet. Going to do it. Let's see, what else do we have here? Weight, this thing tips the scales at 5 1/4 pounds, so it's getting down there, definitely. I'm doing better, though. Which one, where is it? Here it is. This one here is the lightest guitar I've ever built in like a full real guitar. This thing, with all the hardware, I've already weighed it with all the hardware mocked up and taped on so that I could get the center of gravity and stuff. This thing tips the scales at 3 1/4 pounds. If you step up to something with a headstock like this one, you're up to 3 3/4 pounds. And if you go 12 string, you're up even a little heavier than that because you've got extra hardware at the top. Finish on this guy, back to this guy. Finish on this guy is, as usual, Keto wood die and a burgundy. I've got a thing for burgundy and gold. I grew up with a mahogany Steinway grand piano in the living room, so my idea of a fine instrument is something in burgundy and gold. It's got lacquer for the clear coat, and fretboard's been done with Fret Doctor, fretboard oil. And so, yeah, that's it for this guitar. This one is also going to be modded with the twin V type bars that you see here. The same, yeah, so all that's going to go away, and it's going to get a pair of V bars, and I'll have a Floyd Rose V bar. I'll have a